listeners, you're listening to 18 Minutes with Satyal and Silwal, and we're a weekly podcast from the Himalayas. When it's a Tuesday and it's 7:30, you know it's time for perspectives, conversations, and stories. We've come a long way. It's been 16 episodes, but this is the first time that I'm doing this show alone. It feels very lonely. Silwal is out trying to get married, searching for the girl of his dreams. No, seriously, on a serious note, Silwal has some personal issues. That is why he'll not be able to make it to tonight's show. But worry not, we are here for you. And I put a status on Facebook asking if you people would be interested in filling Silwal's shoes and joining me as a co-host. We had a lot of entries, we had a lot of comments, a lot of messages. Thank you so much for that. Unfortunately, we could not accommodate every one of you. So we've decided on one person who messaged me who is a big name. He is an English news presenter at Kantipur Television, and he goes by the name of Prarambha Dahal. So welcome to the show, Prarambha. Woohoo!
Oh my god, that was a very, a large introduction for myself. You guys are doing really well. I've listened to the first show that you guys did, and since then, I think you guys have come a long way.
Yeah, we have. I mean, the first episode was probably the most terrible episode because we were not prepared at all. There's a lot of background noise and everything going on. So I think we've come a long way, yeah.
Definitely, because people have been talking about you guys and the show as well. I know so many people in my school and, even outside of it. They've always told me that, have you heard about these two guys doing this wonderful job? And I'm like, Sagar is my friend, the Satyal one.
Okay.
So they're like, okay. So
I was wondering who Sagar was, but yeah, now you say Satyal. Yeah, that makes sense.
Very popular name, this guy.
Everything, it seems, is not that great. So probably those people that you're talking about right now probably have invisible Google accounts. So that's why it does not really count to the views meter. But anyways, Prarambha, you're here. I gave you that large introduction because Kantipur is a big name in the media house in Nepal, and for you to be the English presenter there, that makes it even huge for us. And the fact that you wrote to us saying, I want to be part of the podcast, you said there's some vacancy or something, so why don't I join in? So that made me really happy, and that's why we brought you here. So now, to start the show, I want to talk about your journey as a news presenter in Nepalese context. So how was that journey like for you?
Well, the first thing that I did in journalism was becoming an RJ at one of the popular FM station in Nepal. It was in Kathmandu, to be specific. It was Times FM.
Okay.
And then some things happened, some opportunities came up, and I joined Image Channel. And after that, Kantipur was the next stop. So it's been a graph kind of thing.
Okay.
So the journey, it's been 3 years. I've been in this industry, and trust me, it's very interesting and so much fun.
Because once you start on it, opportunities come your way, and then you go from here, from there, and that's how you plot the points on the graph, right?
Yeah, of course. And at the same time, you also have to carve your way through the journey as well. So I was always looking at opportunities that might be ahead of me. So when they were there, I tried to grab it, and that is what brought me to the place where I'm right now.
So most people usually find it hard to start because once you start, you go places. Right?
Yeah.
You find people that match your interest, you find connections and networks. So Times FM, how did that start?
Well, I think they had a vacancy around 4 years back, and then I had applied it. I applied out there. A friend of mine told me that they were hiring, and actually my friend was the one who was interested and applied for it. I just went there with that person, and then. Okay.
And that person did not get the job, and you did.
And I did.
How annoying could that be?
Exactly. I think.
Are you still friends with your friend?
No, not more.
You literally stole the job away from him anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're glad that happened. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having you on the podcast.
I feel very, thankful for you guys doing this, because a lot of guys, people of our age and even juniors, are getting inspired to do something that can be done. And you guys have shown that, it's not impossible. And the new age and technology is, what has to align together with, so that wonderful things like this come out.
Oh, that means a lot. Thank you, Prarambha. Okay, so moving on to the news reading section now. Now, when I look at the news, which I'm not really fond of, my parents watch the news and I just chip in when they are doing it. For me, it's like a news presenter just comes in there and reads the news and goes back home. But I'm sure there's a lot to it, right?
A lot of things, happen in the background. The first and foremost thing is news presenters, as they might be perceived as boring. No, they're not. They have an interesting life off the screen as well. What keeps them doing it, what keeps them motivated about the entire job is, the only way to move forward in life is to stay updated, right? So people in our country like us who are interested in what is happening in and around us, not just in Nepal but even outside of our national boundary, is what keeps us motivated. It keeps us interested. Now what happens in the off-screen thing is our reporters, they go around, they get some news for us, and even us, we ourselves have to do that sometimes. And when the news comes in, we look at it, we try to understand it, we try to understand the context, we try to understand the implications. We also try to understand how it might create an impact to different stakeholders, right? Mm-hmm. So once that is done, the English news department, to be specific, translates from Nepali to English, and then we go on air, and then we read it out for people out there.
Okay, that's amazing. So it keeps you on your toes in some ways.
Exactly, and at times what happens is last minute rush happens out there. Like, you're never sure what is happening at that specific moment. So when news they come as we hit the 11th hour, we'll have to be very fast, and we also have to make sure that the essence of the news is not lost in our time constraints.
Okay, so I'm just like visualizing you're in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So when Kantipur news comes in, there's like two people crossing paths, and there's a sound there, and there's this camera guy right in front of them. So exactly. So do you like read the script from there, or how does that work?
It's like the news that we've translated for English news, to be specific, where it's only one reader out there. The news comes out in the prompter, and behind the prompter is the camera. So that is the entire science behind it. And the engineers out there and the producers in the MCR room, which is master control room, they speak to our ears like, all right, you're gonna be on screen in 3, 2, 1, and then we're shown out there, and then the news starts moving in the prompter on the screen, and then we start reading it.
Okay. Have you ever zoned out in the middle of a news? Has that ever happened to you? That happens to me a lot. So I'm just asking.
At times when the news is quite interesting, you tend to get carried away. But the whole idea behind the whole formula behind making it real is like making it sound like you're telling a story, because all the news, they're real things, and we can associate with them. We have to, and we get into that news, we become a part of it, and then we read it out. I've never actually, zoned out, but at times there have been flies, running across my face. So it has been difficult to concentrate at times.
Okay. What do you think of my and Silwal's presentation skills, man? Is it good?
You're a very tough guy, and you do it really well. That is why I've been saying, like you and Silwal, both of you guys, have done a masterclass job, and I think this is the first one of its kind in Nepal that I've come across.
Okay.
And
thank you for that.
It's an inspiration.
That means a lot. Thank you. A lot of people have been asking us to do a video.
I think you guys should move forward and do that as well, and that was my suggestion for you as well when we spoke or had a chat conversation on Facebook. There's so many technical aspects, so that might take a lot of your time, and because you guys are not doing it for or with a profit motive, maybe it should be the way forward if you can get in some sponsors, and because I think people would be really interested.
Yeah, you're the guy with the connection to Kantipur and all those corporate things, so please get us one. All right. So because you're an English news presenter, and because I am a teacher myself, I see that a lot of students in Nepal find it very hard to express themselves.
Exactly.
Especially in English, they cannot really articulate whatever is on their head.
Right.
How does that work for you, and what do you suggest them?
That is a very true story, and it has to start from home. The first thing that happened to me was, I was given a Charles Dickens book, which was Oliver Twist, when I was only 5 or 6, I guess. I had to read that book around 10, 12 times to actually understand it, and I understood it probably only a decade later. So the environment at your home creates a big impact. So if any parents or guardians are listening to this, you guys should create that kind of environment for your children, so that they can really be good with their speaking skills, of course in English. And for people of our age who find it difficult, you have to start thinking in English, because if that is not the language you're thinking in, then a lot of time is wasted in translating the words in your mind and then articulating it. The whole essence is lost as well, and you might not create an impact, the kind of impact you wanted to create on the the other person that you're talking to.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Even I and Silva, we always tell our students to think in English because first thing is to think in English. I always say that you're always bound to think a lot. We tend to think a lot, so might as well think aloud and speak in English while you're talking to your own self. That's another way of doing it.
True
and
story.
and surround yourself with people who will talk to you in English and will help you improve. Not surround yourself with people who you could find in schools. You talk in English and they would look at you as if you're like a very over smart guy and they would ridicule you. It's not the kind of people you should be around.
I think people should also not care about what others are going to say about you if you're trying, because trying does not harm anyone. And the other thing is, I think people should also listen to a lot of music. Even if you're interested or not, you should try to listen to the artists out there English, and then watch football maybe, because that is the other thing that you and I do. Right?
Chelsea all the way. Silwal, I'm sorry. Silwal supports Liverpool.
Okay.
We don't like Liverpool. I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course.
Following the commentators and the analysis of the game gives you great insights in the way they speak. And
Satyal, you said that you also wanted to be a cricket commentator.
Yeah, that was the whole idea of starting the podcast, because I wanted to be a cricket commentator. Silva wanted to be a wrestling commentator.
Okay.
We did not want to give up on our dreams, and that is how we started this podcast. I think another thing that you do a lot is also read.
Yeah,
Reading
of course.
also
You have to read a lot, whether it's just a journal, or it's a book, or it's anything else that
interests you,
or maybe even it does not even have to interest you. If you just read things out, it might interest you, but you get to know a lot of things that are beyond your horizon as well.
Yeah, definitely. And how do you read? Do you read aloud? Does that help you?
Initially, when I actually wanted to be a good speaker myself, I was not a good speaker, to be very true, till my 7th or 8th grade. And then there was a lot of competition happening around the speech and debates and stuff. I was a very shy kind of guy, but there was one opportunity where I had to do it, and at that point of time, I would just go in front of the mirror. I think this is the most classic example anyone would give. But I had a piece of paper and the mirror was there, so I used to read out loud so that I can hear myself. Back then we also used to have, not the kind of mobiles or cell phones we have right now, but that was a small recorder. So I used to record myself. I used to listen to how I sounded. And I think that is another way to, go ahead and try to understand your areas or rooms for improvement and then work on it.
Oh, that's great. I mean, when I see your story, I've seen that you did not start out as perfect, but you worked on it, and now you've reached
I'm
this
still,
height.
I'm
You're
still working hard to improve myself.
Yeah, self-improvement, continuous self-improvement is the way forward. That is a gist I got from
I think
what you
there's
said.
this term, like the learning curve, right?
The learning curve, yeah. It should never get flat. I think
Definitely.
that's the idea. It should always scale up. All right. So we've told our listeners how they can improve their speaking skills, their diction and pronunciation, and the way they articulate in English, right? So that's covered. Now, for someone who's listening to this and is interested in being in the media, a news reader or presenter, what next should they be working on right now? Let's say someone's doing their BBA is listening to us right now.
Well, the first thing is to be, try and get interested in what is happening around yourself, whether or not you want to be a news presenter or a VJ, or if you've got different kind of show in your mind that you want to host in TV. First of all, try and understand that sector, try and understand that industry, and try and learn as much as you can before you even, make an attempt to get into an organization, because that would probably give you an edge the other people might not have.
Okay.
There would be a lot of competition because media is a glamorous sector and everyone looks at media as with that perspective, right? So there's going to be a lot of competition, so you have to prepare yourself and prepare really well. Like I said, the first thing is to understand things and then look for opportunities, because there's so many and increasing number of organizations in media sector itself, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities. Even if they want to do something like you guys are doing, that would also provide them with a lot of advantage. Maybe I always wanted to do a football related show. Okay. So I had a website, footballisfootball.com.
Nice.
It's quite I think Sumiran Satyal.
Yeah, he's my cousin. Probably is listening to us right now.
Yeah, so we did it together, but because we had exams and stuff, so we had to shut it down. So understand the sector, work on improving yourself, and then start. You can start with a video blog, or you can start with a blog, or you can just start write to newspaper companies and send them your articles. You'll know why they would reject you or why they would accept you, and then you keep on improving. Of course, stay updated about the vacancies the organizations might have through their Facebook. Not much Twitter because it's not quite popular in Nepal, and of course LinkedIn. You got to be
definitely LinkedIn. So as you speak, is there anything available that you're aware of right now, so that our listeners can cash in exclusively through 18 minutes with Satyal and
Well,
Silwal?
I know that there are a lot of, there are more than 30 FM stations in Kathmandu, and almost every time throughout the calendars they are running short of people. So the best idea would be to drop in your CVs, resumes to at those organizations, and I'm very certain that you'll get a call anytime.
Okay. So yeah, 30 FM stations.
More than 30.
Yeah,
FM
more than
stations.
30. Just go to them, write down, just drop in your CV, see what works. Like Pradamba said, they can give you feedback, find areas to improve on. Or if you're like Silwal and me, you say, okay, to hell with the FM stations, we'll open our own podcast.
Be entrepreneurs.
That's another way of looking at it. All right. So in case you're wondering who this Pradamba Dahal is and if he really is an English presenter at Kantipur Television, worry not. I have a game to erase your doubts. It's called the tongue twister. So listeners, if you're on YouTube right now, if you just look into your screen, you can see a phrase which is slightly complex and which will require a lot of diction skills to read out aloud and fast. So let's see how Prarambha fares on this one. All right, are you ready, bro?
Yeah, of course. I'm not going.
Are you gonna kill me for making you do this?
Yeah, maybe I should after the show gets over.
You're like, screw you, man. I'm already working at Kantipur Television. Who are you to do this? But I'm Satyal anyway, so I need to do it. All right, and I need to prove to Silwal that I made a right choice in bringing you here.
I'm such a huge disappointment.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, if you're on YouTube, unfortunately, if you're on SoundCloud, you cannot see this. That's audio only. If you're on YouTube, look into your screen right now. Prarambha. So let's start.
Okay, so here it goes. Look, luck, likes, lick. Looks, duck, likes, lick. Look, luck, licks, legs. Looks, duck, licks, legs. Duck takes licks and looks. Oh my god, I messed that up, didn't I? Okay, so duck takes licks and licks, look, luck, likes.
To be fair to you, it's tough, man.
Yeah, man, it's really tough. The
Okay.
last one is Luke Luck takes licks in lakes duck likes.
Okay, I'll give you another one. I'm not letting you go that easily, bro. Okay, this
so
one.
I thought, oh my god, this is a tougher one. So Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers,
Yeah, nice.
Where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked?
Oh, that's nice. All right.
I think
All
I was
right.
better in this.
I think you're much better on this one. I want to tell people that I'm also equally competent, and if Kantipur Television wants me, I can join them.
I think
So-
I should have brought my own. You did not tell me about it. So,
I think I should. If I had done that, then I would have sucked very badly at this. But this is something that I've not tried, so let me try my hands on this one. Okay, and of course,
Okay,
this is an
yeah.
easier one. Okay, can you can a can as a canner can a can? Wow, I think I win because
Yes, of course you win. I think it's getting kind of Jimmy Fallon show, and I should have some kind of eggs or something to smash up my right.
Well, if we do a video, then probably we can do that. But anyways, Prarambha, it was fantastic to have you. I think our listeners would have had a lot of insights on what it's like to be a presenter. I hope you enjoyed the show.
Very
Did
much,
you?
and yeah, of course, I'm going to be waiting to listen to more of your shows out there, because this is something that is going to change how people think about how they speak and what they can do to improve themselves.
All right, so Prarambha, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, as I've already told you, Silva has some personal issues, so that is why he could not be on the show. Not that he's getting married. Please comment in the comment box below. Show him of your love, even though you love Satyal more than Silwal. We still need Silwal for this show. We cannot go on without him. A big thank you to Country Ad Restaurant for giving us the location space, and also to Animesh Animax Trester for his wonderful designs and technical inputs. Satyal and Silwal will be back again next Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. on YouTube and on SoundCloud. And one last thing, it's never too late to start.